welcome back to our channel, and hopefully words of inspiration. The main thing today is a check on to see how people are doing during this age that seems to be draining instead of energizing everyone. This is a time where chaos seems to be reigning everywhere due to the news media and due to social media and all of the venues that give us information. We seem to be torn apart, seeing tragedies everywhere, finding mental manipulation, half-truths, always worrying about whether the information we get is true or not. And that is a hard way to go. It takes a lot of strength and integrity to be able to go forward and to seek the truth and live in truth. And I would congratulate all of you who are part of this channel for being willing to do so, to seek the truth and live the truth, because that is what I think the human life is supposed to be, one of living truth, expanding oneself and one's own mind beyond the trappings of the society that one is left in and locked into, becoming what Socrates called a cosmopolitan person. That is a cosmopolitan person, type of person who becomes a citizen of the universe instead of a citizen of one country or one race or gender or the other many identifications that we have accepted. And the whole spiritual path in truth is discovering that we are part of the cosmos, part of what is known in Buddhism as the original mind, or part of the one, the all in all, that in which we move and live and have our being, and that which we are part of. Some people call this God, goddess, divinity. No matter what the name, that's who and what we are. And we have the power to tap into the source of wisdom and knowledge that exists in that whole field of understanding by simply sitting, being still, cleansing ourselves of lies, ideas, and identifications that we have been given or have accepted because we needed to at one time. And just being. That sounds easy, doesn't it? But it's not as easy as it sounds, or everyone would have done that. So, one may ask, how do we do that? I am going to actually give a little formula, a little exercise that can help us quiet down our minds and enter into the silence. I'll start with part 2, or the ending part, and then I'll go to the beginning. Part 2 is this. Usually when we breathe in and out, between breaths, we find silence. And so if we ever meditate listening to the breath, we will notice that between the breaths there seems to be silence, no thoughts arising, no images, anything. So one of the ways that we can maintain this silence is by just keeping silent, keeping the mind still from the point of silence that comes at the end of the breath. So what does this mean? We take in our breath, we hold it for a few seconds, and listen to the silence, and then we stop all thought as we exhale. We hold that exhalation and there's more silence. And then we take that silence, and as we inhale, we hold that silence for whatever amount of time it takes until we get to the next moment of silence. So we are only remaining silent to the points between breaths. And as we continue to do that over time, it becomes easier and easier to remain silent all of the time we are sitting. And then something happens. Sometimes we might hear thoughts or voices or things like that afterwards, but they are so far off in the distance that we realize that they are not our thoughts and we are still in silence. And we continue to do that over and over again until all that we sense and feel is silence. And then we turn our ears inward, listening to the silence and focusing on it, and all the voices and all the thoughts disappear. This is how we maintain silence as we sit and meditate. The first point is by finding a way to soothe ourselves, to sink down, to quiet the mind so that we can enter into this silence before we start the breathing and concentrating on the breath. This can be done by repeating words, or it can be done by doing a simple chant. And so we are going to just go over a very simple chant that will help provide us with the silence that we need. You can do the chant that I'm doing, mimic that chant, and do it until you feel comfortable with it. And when you feel that your mind is quiet and still, go into the focusing on the breathing. Go on to notice the silence between breaths and carry that silence through. The chant simply means, may we work in and help to create a world where peace exists for all living beings. It's very simple, and it just goes like this, and then following the chant, you'll just go into the meditation as described. It just goes, Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. 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 You may notice already the feeling of quietness and peace and tranquility that comes from doing that chant. And so we do the chant until we get that feeling of tranquility. We focus on the breath and focus on the areas between breaths, holding that silence from the empty area to the next empty area as much as we can. If words begin to flood us, we use the chant again until we go to the higher level, and we keep doing that over and over again until we are able to hold the silence, to turn the ears inward. And as time goes on, that will spread, and we will eventually experience something called Chidananda. That is Sat Chit Ananda, the mind of bliss, where we will actually feel that the universe is full of joy and love And whenever we stop our mind from thinking, in that inner voice, we will enter into that place of love and joy and contentment, creating a bedrock or a foundation of love within us that will keep us connected to the source of who and what we are. Thanks for being with us. Let me know how using this technique works. You can leave a comment for us and we'll get back to you about it. And if you would like, visit our website to learn more about us. You'll find information below. And if you would like, you can leave a donation, or better yet, buy one of our books from our website. The best one to get right now is one called Life, Work, and Spirituality. There's a link there. It gives you all kinds of techniques and ways of using whatever type of work you're doing to rise to a higher spiritual level. And if you use the link, it will take you to a seller that sells it at a very good price. Thanks for being with us again. Namaste, everyone.